Hi everyone. In this video I am going to factor a trinomial that does not have a for the leading coefficient. Does not have 1 for the leading coefficient. So the value of a is like 2, 3, 4. Ours is going to be 5. We're going to actually have 5x squared plus 18x plus 9. And we're going to use a factor by grouping method. So remember, these are in the form of a times x squared. So let me write this up here. A x squared plus b times x plus c. So in factor by grouping, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the a number times the c number. So that means I'm going to take 5 times 9. So that means 5 times 9, and that gives me 45. Okay, so I need to find factors that multiply, numbers that multiply to give me 45. But when I add them together, I want them to equal this middle term of 18. Okay, well, I know of a couple different factors. I could say 3 times 15, that equals 45. And when I take 3 plus 15, that gives me 18. Now, it cannot work with every factor. So, for example, you know that 5 times 9 gave us 45, right? But if I add 5 plus 9, that only gives me 14, and that does not equal the middle term. So this is the pair I need to use, the 3 and the 15. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write my 5x squared, and then I'm going to write a plus 3x and a plus 15x. However, I'm going to write this intelligently. I am going to group the 15 by the 5. Why? Because 5 and 15 have common factors. That will leave the 3 by the 9, and 3 and 9 have common factors. So that's what I'm talking about by using my intelligence. Okay, so plus 15x plus 3x, and I write the plus 9. Okay, the next thing I do for factor by grouping is I am going to group these into 2 different groups. I usually just draw a line, left side, right side of the line. Okay, make my line a little bit bigger. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to, on the left side of the line, factor out my greatest common factor. Well, I can factor out a 5 and an x from both terms. And then parentheses, and what's left over? Well, take 5x squared, divide out or factor out a 5x. I'm left with just x. 15x, divide or factor out a 5x, and I'm left with just 3. So I have 5x times x plus 3. Now I do the same thing on the right side of the line. I factor out my greatest common factor. I can factor out a positive 3. I always put the sign with this one because it's in the middle. Okay? When I divide out a positive 3, I'm left with an x, let me undo that. All right, sorry about that. I'm left with an x, and dividing factor out a 3 from 9, I am left with 3. You notice we have the same thing in our parentheses. That's what we want when we're factored by grouping. Okay, so what I'm going to then do is I'm going to say, okay, from both sides of the line, I have an x plus 3 that's in common. So I'm going to have x plus 3. I'm factoring that out of the whole thing. And then what's left over is the 5x and a plus 3. So 5x plus 3. Now, this is factored. I could have said what's inside, write down once, what's outside of parentheses, write down in another group. Same thing. All right, enjoy these. Have fun factoring. And if this has helped you, please like and follow. Bye and have an excellent, awesome day.